Mozart Piano Concerto in A major, crucial 488. Well, you did a great job. I asked you to just copy the melody notes, but realign them so that notes that belong to the same chord look simultaneous. They look like they happen together, even though they don't. It's played out over time, but you get these notes, the tonic triad, all in measure 1, but we omit the D, the neighboring motion. However it goes, yeah. Got this beautiful melody that just keeps on doing these huge leaps, which makes it really beautiful. I asked you not to show the embellishing tones, the non-chord tones, so I'm going to omit the A. Why? A in measure 2 I omit because?
Suspension.
Suspension. Good. So I just leave it out and show the 2 chord tones and copy them directly on. Don't change the register, but just copy in here, but realign. New chord, but just 1 tone for it. Measure 3. Again, I'm going to leave out the suspension and just present the 2 notes that happen there. And then there. Okay, and then the bass. And I'm not going to show that E sharp in 2 registers. I'm just going to put it up in the higher one. And yes, there is a 1/6 here, but I don't really need that. I've basically got tonic for the first beat measure. And 5 staying put. Okay, so 1, 2, that's diminished 4, 2, 5, 6, 5, back to 1. What do we call this? You run the phrase model, all the functions, got a complete progression, but you're not done?
Prolongation.
That's true, it is time prolongation. I was actually looking for another word though. What is it?
It's embedded.
Embedded.
It's got inversions in it.
All these words.
It's a progression, but it's embedded within the core of the phrase. It's not the end of it. And we feel that with parentheses. Good. That's an embedded progression. Let's see. 2, half note, 6, 5. Predominant.
In the high style.
And B, D, 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 D.
Use the parentheses to show 6, 5. Okay. All right. Well, a lot of you showed another line, and I'm just going to show that one in here too. This was not part of the assignment. I didn't ask you to show other parts, inner voices, but some of you did, and it's a very neat thing that pops out at you if you'll do that. Okay, so this is one melody, but with sometimes 3 notes per chord. It's moving through those chords. That's a compound melody. That was our main point here. Our main point was that this melody runs through chords, arpeggiates through them, and by doing it implies a bunch of other lines. This is probably the most obvious line. Heading on down there. It's an inner voice, like an alto part. How about the highest notes of every measure? Now it fizzles here. He abandons it so that he can just close out one line. That's normal. You abandon if you've got multiple voice-leading strands going on. You're going to cadence in one or the other register. You're not going to try and keep them both going a lot of the time. So that's pretty normal. So you'll leave this out, but you know, this is a 2 chord, so that's the chordal 7th. Where should it have gone? Where should F have gone if he had continued? Chordal sevenths don't go up, they go
No.
down. Yes, we really want an E sharp, actually. The leading tone's somewhere, but what he does is he actually moves that note down here and closes it out in another register. So he's left some stuff out up here, and he leaves that voice giving strand unfinished, and instead brings it to a close in the alto part. So if I were to take a Schenkerian perspective, since this is kind of incomplete up here, I'd probably make these my main notes and say, okay, I'm in F sharp minor. This is 5, 4, 3, 2, and we never get past the dominant, so I'm going to make that 2 the main thing, and then show this as motion underneath a 2 that sort of remains in your mind there. Get used to that. That's kind of weird. So, hey, look, the leading tone's really a big deal, right? Well, he's going to say, yeah, but 2 is where the motion really stops, and the rest is just elaboration. Just trying to keep it simple, right? And show that if you've got an interruption, you end on 2, no matter what. Even here, where the motion continues. He's going to view this as motion into an inner voice. You've already basically arrived, you're done at the background level right there. And you know what's going to follow probably now. Stick that over up there and say, you know, in a simpler version, those two things would happen together and it would have all been done. This is elaboration, that's just extra. But melodically, you've already arrived, you're done. And that's the way to show it. In the bass, you can see this in a hurry. Keep it, resolve it, becomes a chordal 7 in the 2 half diminished 4 2. Has to resolve, gets the leading tone, then it too has to resolve in your back, so it's neighboring motion. In a sense then, this is truly neighboring motion going on there. Pedal, if you want to be really detailed, keep your bass, and then do neighboring motion to get back. F sharp, E sharp, F sharp. If you included this note, you want to do something to show that it's part of that same chord. And now we're getting ready to get to the main thing. So big stem here, de-emphasize the B, the predominant, and slur it to?
Slur to the C.
Good. Now we see this getting to this through a predominant, and we're elaborating the tonic for the beginning of the phrase, which is pretty normal, right? We're seeing that a lot. You expand your opening tonic, and then you move fast to get to closure at the end. But this is pretty neat to see that you really do have parallel 6 coming down, a soprano and an alto, so to speak. And this one melody is built out of it. And it becomes just lovely. Does that perform nicely or what?
That's intense.
You know this guy, Murray Pariah? He says, I don't perform a work unless I have done a Schenkerian analysis of it. He will not perform it until he has figured out how he's going to perform every single note.
Does he keep this
Who?
like Schenkerian scores together?
That would be interesting to see if he really does it. But some people are really...
What's his name again?
Murray Pariah.
Pariah.
There we go. Yeah. Murray Pariah. Go ahead.
I was just curious because you said he does it on all of the pieces. Because I know in
That's what he says. I haven't verified
in the
it, but...
reading, the 20th century music, because he's Schenker they talk about how that it's harder to do with some of the 20th century music.
So, yeah, either he avoids the repertoire,
Yeah,
or he really means that he does it
Right.
for everything that's
Yeah.
fit. Yeah, you can't do it on every piece, that's for sure. But where appropriate, he says, I'm not gonna perform it unless I've done the
Right.
synchrony
Yeah,
analysis.
I mean, I was just curious, I was like,
It's
wow,
in print, you
really
can
good.
check it out. I mean, he says flat out, he
That's
will
cool.
not perform it until he has done the synchrony analysis. Because for him, well, can you hear the sensitivity in that performance? Ooh, it's gorgeous, you know? Simple, but just, it's like you're always just sort of, you know, on ice, waiting for something to crack underneath, because it's so delicate, so wonderfully done. Yeah, beautiful. Any touches that you want to highlight? I love measure 2. Did anybody catch that, what he does there? Listen to what he does in measure 2. Yeah, listen to the resolution. Makes you wait just a little bit for the resolution. Did you feel that?
Yeah,
Just
it's like,
subtle
sure.
little wait. But that is lovely. And then he just pulls that off. Da, 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 da. Makes it even softer at the end.
It makes you almost want to run down.
Yeah. You want to take it, you want to not exhale, just keep it. Everything is just beautiful in what he does. And so he really has thought it out, and he knows where the line's going, he knows that that's a suspension and it's going to resolve there, and he acknowledges it by making you want it a little more. You want it? It's playing hard to get, right? Make you wait for that resolution. Lovely playing.